Dear viewers, thank you for taking time out. And today we will be in conversation with Soumya on immigration topic. I hope this episode will help you to solve many of your queries on immigration. And please keep watching us and support us as always. Thank you. It's like many people dream to go abroad and study or to do work, right? And you have seen that phase of life.
So when it came to earning money, I wanted to choose somebody else so that I just have a professional relationship. And I think that went the wrong direction and I chose the wrong guy.
And how was your student life there, like the education system, what you have seen here, what you have experienced there?
Because you have seen a tougher education system here, you find their education system much more easy. When I was a student, I used to feel it's a bit pressure.
Yeah.
But again, after all that pressure, you come out as a very good student.
How did you approach when you wanted to get some job?
I landed upon two jobs which were not very suitable for me. I wasn't happy. I wasn't treated well. All these experiences have gone through, but eventually you keep trying, and then finally you will land up onto something that you like.
Hi Soumya, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Thank you for asking. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome.
And thank you so much. I know how busy you are and you're still taking time for us.
No, absolutely. It's my pleasure because I think this is the second time we are meeting on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so grateful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. As you are aware, this is one of the long pending topic which we're supposed to do long back.
Absolutely.
Finally, today we are doing it.
Yeah.
So, most awaited topic, immigration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's many people dream to go abroad and study or to do work, right? And you have seen that phase of life.
Yeah.
So just wanted to hear more about the same because the imagination might be different than the reality,
Absolutely. I'm also going to use this floor just to, give a bit of information to all those new aspiring immigrants wherever they want to go outside India. So I think I'll just use this platform for an kind of an information delivering. I just want them not to repeat the same mistakes that I did.
Yeah. That's what the objective of this
and I'll
episode.
also tell the benefits. So yeah, sure, for sure.
Thanks a lot. Maybe let's start with your journey, where it started. Maybe you can touch upon your background.
Yeah.
And one more thing is how this thought process started, how it came into your mind, and how you decided to go abroad. So you have been there in Canada for last couple of years, So maybe you can just start with the
this
the
is
background.
going to be a long explanation. I'll try cutting it short.
No problem.
Okay, so I'm an islander. I was born and brought up in Andaman Nicobar Islands. So I'm from Port Blair, the capital city. So until my 12th grade, I was in Port Blair, and the drawbacks of the islands are always beautiful. So wherever you see its scenic beauty, it doesn't disappoint you that way. But then, everywhere it's horizon. And as a young growing girl, I was always wondering what is on the other side of the horizon. Because the only thing I see is my small island. And it always kept me, amazed that I want to see the other side of the world. And that's how I came to Bangalore, I can say, because I did my higher studies. I did my bachelor's in dental surgery from Bangalore. And once my education was over, that's a time when every fresh graduate is confused and we don't know what to do. We need some guidance.
Right.
And the fun part was I went back to my college. I asked my professors, what can I do next? Do you suggest me to do my master's? Because I always wanted to do master's in oral surgery. So I just wanted some suggestions from the seniors who were already doing it. And the funny comebacks were if you find a way out, let me know what to do, because we are also struggling to find a way since past 23 years.
Yeah.
That was pretty, that was a dead end for me. I didn't know what to do further. So like every practicing professional, even when we are fresh graduates especially, we always want a senior to guide us. And like everybody, when I decided to join a senior, I think that was not a very great idea that I decided to do, because when I was doing my second year, third year, final year, I did work with a doctor. I don't have the consents to mention his name, but I think he definitely deserves acknowledgement because he's a very great guy. And I started working with him. His name is Dr. Zarar. I started working with him just to understand the practicality of my subject. So second, third, and final year, I worked with him. And when I finished my final year and I started doing my internship, I also wanted to make some money out of it, because you have your expenses here.
Correct.
And I didn't want to work with Dr. Zarar just for money, because we have a very great relationship. He's a very good teacher, a very good practitioner. And I wanted to keep it that way. So when it came to earning money, I wanted to choose somebody else so that I just have a professional relationship. And I think that went the wrong direction and I chose the wrong guy. I don't want to mention his name though, but then I think I'm just being the voice of many young professionals who freshly graduate out of college and start working with seniors. They don't get a very good experience. At least, they are not treated well. I wasn't treated well. And I worked with him for 1 year. And the only thing I learned was to make different type of chai. Because most of his guests, when they come to the clinic, I was just catering to them as, a waitress. That's all. I mean, I never touched a patient for an year.
Oh.
That was not my intention actually, because while I was doing my internship, I was pretty good as a practitioner.
Okay.
I know, because we work in colleges and we have a quota to finish. So I was doing pretty great. But then when I started working with this other gentleman, my experiences were not very great and I didn't get to do any patient. There was one time he gave me a patient and I was very delighted. I thought, okay, finally he starts to trust me. But that was not the trust. It was actually that patient was not going to pay him. So he just thought that that patient is not worth the money. So he just gave it to me. And that was very disgraceful for both of us, me and the patient I was taking care of. So that was kind of, I was hitting the dead end, I was not going from there to anywhere. I just had to make my new goals out of that. So I decided to study further. Maybe I thought if I qualify myself more, more opportunities might come my way. But family situations were not very favorable.
Correct.
And then I couldn't do my master's in dentistry.
Okay.
So therefore, you go around asking your friends what next, what are you planning to do next. And somebody suggested me that it would be great if you do your master's or your post-graduation from outside India.
Okay.
So maybe that would be a new opening for you. And mine was a young mind, and I was just looking for opportunities. I was looking for financial stability. I was looking for independence, and I think that's not too much to ask. So, therefore, I approached this education consultancy that I heard about. And things just happened from there. They guided me what to do and they told me what documents would be required. And I just followed what they said. They helped me get an admission also in one of the nicest colleges in Canada. And that's how I set my foot.
Okay, so you went there as a student also?
Yes. I was on my student permit in the initial days.
Okay.
So back then, it's now immigration rules have been changing a lot, but back then, this is 7 years back. If you do 1 year of education, you would get a post-graduation work permit for 1 year. If you do a 2-year course, you would get a post-graduation work permit for 3 years.
Okay.
So that's how it was back then. Okay. So I took 1-year course and I also did a 1 year of PGWP, postgraduate work permit. Yeah.
Got you. So totally life situation made you to
absolutely.
abroad. Yeah, got you. So initially you went there as a student and as you mentioned, you went through educational consultant.
Yes.
Right. So if somebody would like to go abroad for study, so what would be the procedure, and if they want to go through any educational consultant, so is it like easy or is difficult? How much effort they have to put and how much like a cost they need to think of? So if you could like explain more about this one, I think it would be very helpful.
Okay, for sure. Actually, when you approach an education consultancy, the best part is they take a lot of your stress off you, because they do the most job for you, like getting an admission. And the one which I approached, they didn't even take service charges from me, but definitely they are tied up with the colleges that are abroad, so they have their money flowing there maybe, but of course for me it was free of charge.
Yeah.
So they didn't charge me anything. Instead they just guided me on what all documents I would be requiring to get a student permit. So the first thing they ask for is you absolutely need to have a passport.
Got you.
So which is in a valid date, so you need to have that. And I also had my graduation done, which is again a boon. So it's nice if you finish graduation, but after moving to Canada, I also see people who've just done their 12th grade and still they come there for higher studies, which is again fair enough, considering the age and everything. So yeah, so that's the second thing they ask for. And the third important mandatory document is you need to finish your language test.
Okay.
So when you go there as a student, now there are a couple of other language tests too, like CELPIP is one of the new one in the market. But back then it was only IELTS, which is worldwide accepted. And when you go there as a student, you have to finish your IELTS test.
Right.
And the college which you have applied for in, I'll just talk about Canada. The college that you have applied for in Canada, they have their benchmarks. So they, when you apply for a particular course, they do tell you how much IELTS score they're looking for. So once you crack that, so these 3 papers if you have in hand, I think they take it from there. And what you need to get is an offer letter from the college that you have applied for. Considering all these papers, there's something called GIC, that is an international account that you need to open.
Okay.
And I think now the scales have gone up, but back then I paid close to $10,000.
Okay.
So
that is,
yeah, I have to pay that. I mean, I have to have that money in my GIC account.
Okay, got it.
So student account. And then I have to pay up my fees. Back then it was semester wise. I think now it's yearly or the entire course. You need to cross check that. So 7 years back it was just semester wise. So I paid my college fees as well. So all this once you get in place, I think the education consultancies are ready to submit the papers to the visa office. So that's how it goes. But then, I was naive. I was not very aware of the colleges or anything abroad because I never was a person who traveled alone either. I was not even a solo traveler. I've never explored India altogether. So considering that, for me it was a very big step, and I was totally dependent on the educational consultancy. I just blindly believed whatever they said. I didn't do my own research. But if you go deep, if you dive deep into the topic, there are certain things that you need to have done from your side also, like
before approaching
them. Yeah, like there's something called WES, World Education System. So especially the practicing professionals like MBBS, BDS, engineers, lawyers, I think they need to have their WES done. So it's just, getting your education equalized with the international educational standards. So that is a very important paper which I wasn't aware of, I wasn't told about, and I did only when I reached to Canada. And once I was applying for my permanent residencies, when I realized that that's one of the important papers, and it was a last minute run for me. So, you need to do your own research also, especially for me, like I was a person, I never even saw a dollar bill. So for me, I didn't know Canadian dollar, American dollar and Australian dollar, all are different. Yeah, so I would suggest aspiring immigrants to also do a little research from their side as well. There's something I want to mention here is, there was one of the colleges I was looking for in Niagara, and the education consultancy lady who I was consulting with, she just told me that, oh, it's wonderful college, you can just sit next to the Niagara Falls and study, open your window and you can see the falls. And for me, I've never been to a country outside India, or I've never explored anything outside India. So you happen to totally believe the person who you're talking to.
Right.
And I was very amazed by the fact that, oh, that's so wonderful. I can sit in my class, open my window and see Niagara Falls. But when I saw Niagara Falls in person, it's nothing like what she said. So, yeah, some misleadings here and there happen. They just want to convince you. But you cannot complain. You cannot blame them either, because they are also trained to talk in a certain way.
Yeah.
None of the consultants that you're talking to have actually seen what they're talking about, but they're just guided, or maybe they're trained to talk this particular way. So they're just trying to convince you, maybe trying to give you some support. But a homework from our side is also very important, which I didn't do. I definitely would suggest others to do.
Would you suggest any sources for the same?
Oh yeah, when I moved to Canada, I realized that there are many Facebook groups, there are many WhatsApp groups, people, all new immigrants, people who've already reached there, they share their experiences. So there are a couple of groups like that,
Maybe they can
help
get
a
in touch
lot.
with them on
Absolutely.
social media.
Yes, yes. Because even I didn't, when I moved first time, I didn't even have a house to stay.
Okay.
Because I didn't arrange anything for myself. I just got my visa, I booked my tickets, and I flew. So I was so unaware of anything. I wasn't aware of the climatic conditions. I wasn't aware of the cuisine. I didn't speak much English. I didn't have a house to stay. So all these were my flaws. Yeah. So after reaching there, I got somebody, and that person helped me find a house. And as Indians, we do not realize how minus 40 would feel, because temperature there is always low. And we've been exposed to higher positives temperature wise, so we don't know how negatives feel.
Correct.
And I still remember when I was boarding my flight from Delhi, there was a temperature display which said 46. So I knew that, okay, temperature outside is 46. Once I reached Canada, there's again a temperature display which exactly said minus 46. You won't believe. And I don't know how minus 46 would feel like. The moment I step out of the airport, just thinking that, oh, how bad can it go? I can deal it. The moment I step out, it takes you 5 minutes to start breathing, because it's such a drastic change related to climate. Your body needs some time to adjust.
Correct.
And that's when I realized, okay, so it looks good on movies, but when you're actually exposed to it, you need to do a lot of adjustments. So even sometimes the winter clothes that you take from here doesn't work very well there, because they have a different cloth material. Just to beat the weather. So there are many things, you get to know once you reach there. So all these queries, all these questions that you have, even housing problems, I think if you become a part of this group, they definitely help you out with it.
Gotcha.
So back then I had no idea about that. But yeah, eventually when I started talking to other friends of mine, they told me that this is how they got their route. So I would suggest the same to the new aspiring immigrants.
Yeah. As you went there, like without any preparation, right? So have you got the help? Like you got the help from your friends, or did you knew somebody from Canada?
No, I mean, when I went there for the first time, I still, when I look back, I think that was a bold move. So I keep telling, my husband, if ever my daughter wants to move abroad like that, I am going to ask her to do her homework. I'll never let her go like that, because I think that was a very bold move. Like overnight, you're getting shipped to a whole new different world, with a different kind of people, different language. Food is different, everything is different, and once you land there, it's totally a new world. And I had zero preparations done on my side. I thought, the more I get into it, it's just gonna stress me out. So I'll just accept the things as it comes my way. So that's how I calmed down myself. But I must say that there was one help that I got from the education consultancy. They gave me a phone number.
Okay.
And once I reached my destination there, I realized that my phone, my Indian phone, doesn't get connected to the Wi-Fi of the airport in Canada, and I was totally stuck. But then people there are very helpful. Canadians are very friendly. They are very kind-hearted. They have that respect for each other. So that really amazed me. So when I reached there, I wasn't sure if this lady would be able to help me, but she was an airport employee, and I told her that I'm brand new here and I don't know where to go, but I have this phone number with me. So if you could just try connecting this number for me, I just wanted to talk to this person and he's the guy who's going to help me with the accommodation. And that kind lady, she called that number a couple of times, nobody answered. And, I thought, okay, fine, I'll just wait for some time. If I get a call back, I'll move further from here. And if I don't get a call back, I'm going back to India. So I had this money in my hand, loose cash in my hand, and that was told by the education consultancy that it's better carry some loose cash with you. So I don't know how to count dollar bills because I was seeing it for the first time. So I asked this lady to please count it for me, and she counts the money, and I had some $1,500. And I asked this lady, ma'am, is it possible that I can book a ticket back
to
home?
India.
She said, yeah, I think you can if you want to go back, 1,500. Is it a round trip? She asked me. I said, no, I'm going back. I'm not coming here again. I'm just going back. If nobody comes to pick me, I don't know where to go. So she said, yeah, if you want to go back, that's possible.
Would they supposed to come, is it? Educational
Yeah,
consultant?
no, that number, whosoever that number is, that person has to come.
Okay.
So until
They
he
are
doesn't,
from educational consultancy?
I think they helped him back sometime.
Okay.
So they had some kind of tie-up. So if some new person goes, maybe he took the responsibility to help them out. That's what my understanding was. So now I'm all set to book my tickets back home if nobody comes to pick me up. 7 hours I waited in the airport, and this lady again, she's like, hey, I know that number that you were trying to call, that guy has called back, do you want to speak to him? And I just go answer the phone. I was like, hey, I just got your number from this consultancy and they asked me to call you, you would do the help is what I was told. And he's like, okay, I'll come fetch you. And after like half an hour, he comes, he fetches me. And then my journey from there starts because he was the one who helped me out with the accommodation. He tried multiple places, all were booked, all were full. But finally, he found me a house where I think there were already 13 of them living there and I was the 14th person. But fine, no problem for me.
But at least you got some place.
Yeah, I just wanted to hide myself from that -40 outside. Yeah, so from then there was no looking back. Then straight 7 years, I lived my life there.
Okay.
And in no time it becomes home. But yeah, the moment you set your foot there, it's little of a confusion to find your directions.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah. I still remember the first question that I asked the guy was, can you feed me something, please? I'm so hungry. I can see the menu, but I don't know what it means. I don't know what it is, how it would taste, or am I good to order? Because you're exposed to such a international cuisine for the first time and you don't know what to order for yourself. And this guy, the first question that I asked was, please feed me something. I'm so hungry.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. And I still remember I was seeing a drive-through for the first time. And he orders and he collects. It was like quick, 2 minutes. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty fast because here you have to wait for your order and we are used to that kind of waiting. But it was pretty fast and I was very impressed. And when it came the time for payment, she said 755. And I was like, 755? How am I going to pay this back to this guy? Then he explained me, no, it's $7.55. So I'm just trying to explain that's how uninformed I was. And that's not good. I wouldn't advise anybody to go like that.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Do some preparation.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to do some preparation, at least Google how dollars look.
Yeah.
But yeah, kids now are much more.
I think now all the information are kind of like readily available,
Yeah, kids now are more informed, they're more smarter and they know which direction to go. But yeah, these were the flaws that I did, and when I look back, I still feel I wasn't smart.
And how was your student life there? Did you find any a difference, right? Maybe in terms of the education system, what you have seen here, and what you have experienced there, and the environment.
Yeah, that was totally different. Like when you compare education system here and education system there, it is different, and both sides it's a positive and negative, I would say. Here, I think education is like, I felt like a pressure. I mean, I wouldn't lie. Even while I was a student in school, and once I started professional education also, taking breaks, easing down a bit, there's always mental pressure. You have, like, even when I was doing my bachelor's of dental surgery, you have your quotas, you have your internals, you run behind teachers for marks. Today when I look back, I just take it very positive, but when I was a student, I used to feel it's a bit pressure. But again, after all that pressure, you come out as a very good student. You step out of the college knowing everything. You have those important tools that is required to face the world. So they are making better doctors, or they are making good professionals. I won't complain the education system. But when you move to Canada, because you have seen a tougher education system here, you find their education system much more easy. Like, they give you summer break, they give you spring break. Just they want the students to calm down. They take a break from education, do what you want to do. That 1 week or 2 weeks when they're giving you break, you don't have any assignments to submit. So they want you to relax. And they are more happy if you say that, oh, that 1 week I visited somewhere, or I went traveling, I went hiking. Teachers are happy to hear that. But yeah, even they work hard on you. They give you assignments. There, I have seen one thing: punctuality is something. It's the key. That's a country that runs by the clock. So if they say 12 o'clock, they mean 12 o'clock. So, there's no 2 minutes after, before. They really appreciate you if you're punctual, if you're on time. So that, even right from the school level, college level, they do have that practice. They put students through that practice. So if they say there is an assignment due on this time, this date, they expect you to do that. And as they treat you like adults, they have that trust on you, and they expect that, okay, I've told my student is definitely going to do that. So you have that kind of a training. And the kind of topics that they give you for assignments also, it's very much, it assists your educational development, your creativity. All that was really fun. It's totally different. I like both sides of it, but there I was much more at ease, because here you are under pressure all the time. So yeah, the education system is really nice. Teachers are really nice. And the fun part was, the class that I was in, most of us were Indians. So we were like a batch of 100, and most of us were Indians. I still remember my dean walking in, and she says, "Hey, I feel like I'm in India." I'm the only foreigner in the class. But yeah, there's one more thing you learn, you go above and beyond language, and you go above and beyond all these state differences, because here I think we have, India is, of course, we are linguistically acknowledged. So there, when we go, we forget about that. You are just an Indian. You are an East Indian, because they have their own Indian group. So they call us East Indians. So I think once you are abroad, that's your identity. You're not a Malayali, you're not a Tamilian, you're not a Christian, nothing. I mean, you are identified as Indian.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's one more realization you get, which is, I think, an add-on. You discover a new self of yourself.
We are all like one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just discover that, you discover your identity. Is that what I understood? But definitely, it's a nice experience. You have education from here, you have education from there. It's definitely a feather on your cap.
Yeah. Good to know. And how this, like, a college timings and all, like how you were able to manage, and how you manage your expenses,
Yeah, that, there I have seen. Here, until you finish your graduation, until you're on your foot, parents support us financially. That's what, we've gone. And then once you settle, you look after your parents. So that's the Indian culture that we go by. There, after 10th grade, students want to work for themselves. Like, they find a job, they want to be independent, and parents promote that, because that will help them understand the value of money, how to spend, what to spend, where to spend, not to spend. These things, they give a practical knowledge to their children. So I think after 10th grade, every kid, they want to start doing some kind of part-time job and start becoming independent. And I won't deny the fact that I was pampered. Until I finished my BDS, I was pampered with money.
Okay.
Whenever I wanted books, I would just call my parents. They would help me out with pocket money. I would go get my things. Though here and there, I did some part-time jobs, but not as serious as they do there. They are seriously doing their job as well. So once I set my foot in Canada, it was a challenge for me to balance both work and education because I had to find part-time jobs to educate. To support myself financially. So I started working basic jobs just to keep myself rolling in terms of money, and we have restrictions. Like I was on my student permit, so I'm not allowed to work after certain hours. And I'm only allowed to work 20 hours a week, not more than that, on my permit that I'm holding, because the government wants you to concentrate on your education.
Study.
So they are like, you are here to study. So you have to be studying and not working.
Correct.
You must be still working to meet your little bit needs like your rent and your food and your bus charges and all that. So after like finding basic jobs, I started trying to balance both. But once on your summer vacations, you are allowed to work 40 hours.
Okay.
You can more than 40 hours. In fact, you can work under multiple employers. It's no problem. But while you're having your academic time, you have to follow the restrictions. So there are smart students too who are from India. They during summertime they have 3 to 4 jobs, and they smartly also gather money for the next semester.
Got you.
Yeah. I've seen Indians, not just Indians, every immigrant working very hard. Everybody is a busy bee there. So even my classmates, there were many of them who took multiple jobs at the time of summer, and they were able to pay up their second semester, second year. So all that's how we support ourselves. So like whatever comes your way, whichever jobs comes your way, you have to take it up, because from the next month you have your rent, from the next month you have your phone bill, you have your Wi-Fi bill, so that is not stopping. So, but you have your GIC, okay? So that is one big help, I'll tell you. The moment you land Canada, once you inform the bank that you are here with your letter of acceptance from the college and you are starting your college, the moment you inform this to your bank, they activate your GIC.
Got you.
And immediately they'll give you $2,000.
Okay.
That $2,000 is for your housing, that you can also use to buy a phone, to get a Wi-Fi connection, all that basic needs that you have to do. That $2,000 you can use, and from there, so every month the students that $665 which is being released into their account, they keep that aside as a saving, and instead they'll start working, for their own living. So once they have their job in place, they have their salary coming, and the best part is their salary is not monthly. Their salary is bi-weekly.
Okay.
So every 2 weeks you are paid.
Okay.
So living paycheck to paycheck is what most of us do, but it's not very difficult. But students, for them, it's a boon. That kind of salary system also is a boon. So every time they have they never go out of money. And we Indians, we know how to save. We know how to live with the minimum. Correct. We send some money home also, because many students, they take a lot of bank loans. Correct. And that's how they support their education. So they also pay some money home. But on the other hand, that GIC money, they'll save. They won't spend that. And once they receive all the money, sometimes they just send it back home. That's what I did.
That is from the government, is it?
No, that is the money that we had opened an account when we were, I spoke about the education consultancy asking us to open up an account. So we have to have $10,000 in that account. So this money is from that account. Yeah.
Got you.
So it's just, you can say that the government is trying to, the Canadian government, they just want to make sure that you're not on the street. You have some fund somewhere, which is helping you, meet your expenses. That's what I've understood, which is again a help. For me, the first 3-4 months, it was definitely a help when I was looking for jobs. And I went at the time of peak winter. And it's very difficult to find job at the time of winter. Business is a little low, so the hotel business, everything is a bit low. So they don't need employees at that time. It's only summer when business booms and they want more staff. So I was there at the wrong time. So yeah, GIC money helped me a lot to meet my expenses until I found a job. Yeah.
Okay. So, how did you approach, like, when you wanted to, like, get some job to lead the life over there, right? I
Right.
mean, as a student,
Right.
to meet all your expenses, like, is it like very difficult? So winter, I agree, but like normally also, is it like very difficult, or like, can
Okay.
somebody help?
I understand. Okay, so for finding a job, what I have understood is sometimes it depends upon the city also that you are in. Like the bigger cities have lot of job opportunities, but you might not find something that complements your education that you have done in India. Like especially me, I was already a graduate, so it's not necessary that I find something that complements my qualification. You just pick whatever comes your way, but depends upon the city also sometimes. So I was in a very small city. That's my home today, and I can proudly say that. But when I initially stepped in there, I found even now it's the same. Being a small city, finding jobs is a bit challenging, and now there are so many immigrants also, so everybody are looking for jobs. I still remember one of the grocery stores that I had submitted my resume. He pulls out his drawer and he says, see, I have so many resumes, so I have to pick one from this.
Okay.
So that's just because it being a smaller city. But bigger cities, I think there are always some of the other openings that you can look for. But I would also say approach your college, your dean, your professors, all of them are very helpful. At least the college that I was in,
Okay.
they helped me a lot, and they helped me write resumes. They
Oh.
taught me how a Canadian resume looks like. It's not how we use here in India. So it's totally different. We are not allowed to put pictures on our resume. So they helped me. My teachers, they helped me a lot.
Okay.
And even at that time, especially when you are looking for a job in Canada, you need to have a reference. You have to submit at least 3 references.
Okay.
Any job place. Being a new immigrant, I knew nobody. But then my teachers were like, you don't have to worry. There were 3 teachers who stood a reference for me. So that way I got a lot of help. So if you are a student, don't hesitate to ask your teachers, is what I would say. They are very helpful. People are kind, they'll help you. They have your back, so we don't have to worry much. But finding a job, getting a job is totally your performance. So like I struggled because first of all, the weather was not suitable when I reached there. Secondly, sometimes you have better candidates than you. Depends on how lucky you are as well.
Yeah.
So considering all that, for me it took a little bit time. I landed up on 2 jobs which were not very suitable for me. I wasn't happy, I wasn't treated well. All these experiences have gone through, but eventually, you keep trying, and then finally you will land up onto something that you like. Yeah, but then you will have an experience of everything. Like, whatever is frowned upon in India, like you, after having an education, people say, oh, stick to your education, find a job that complements your education. But when you go there, job is something very essential, and you wouldn't look on the standards, and you just pick whatever comes your way, and they respect it.
Okay.
That's the best part. I have seen, and I really admire that, because here, when we work, people who work in the restaurants, sometimes we are not very good to them.
Right.
You feel guilty when you go there, because now you're on the other side. You are the waitress, or maybe you're the host, and when now you know how it feels, but you'll be amazed how respectfully they treat you.
Okay.
They are never disrespectful, they never put you down on your positions. They always value your presence. They always appreciate what you render to their company.
Irrespective of the profession, what you are doing, so
Absolutely,
they
ma'am.
will
Yeah, they don't
treat
judge
you
you.
equally.
Absolutely, ma'am. They don't judge you on the basis of how much you earn or what car you drive, which house you live. They never judge you on that basis.
Okay.
That's something I was really amazed. And you start practicing that because you feel this is better than what I am. Yeah, so that's something. So any job you do, you get the respect that you deserve. They never put you down.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, because there, uh, I can tell you this: the restaurant that I was working, uh, the guy who was at the dishwash, he came in a BMW. so that so now what happens there is there's no class system like
Correct.
how we think here. There's no class system there.
Yeah.
They
We are
don't.
all human beings.
Yeah, they treat you like humans. They treat you equal. They if you have a pricey car, they think, okay, he deserves more respect. No, that doesn't come into picture at all. Everyone is the same.
It's good.
So I really like that, and you automatically start practicing the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we should be, right?
That's how we should
Yeah,
be. I
yeah.
think at least a younger generation, they should start thinking differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would suggest that going abroad, somewhere down, it's a good decision also, because you find, or rather you discover a better you. You find a different version of you.
Got you.
Yeah, you become more humble and you become more grounded because you go through a lot of struggle to make your living. People help you, but still, your fight is your fight. You have
Right.
to fight it.
Right.
So once you have fought that and you reach somewhere, when you look back, that just grounds you. So I really
Correct.
like that.
Correct, I agree. After masters, like how was your journey? So you might have done some internship or you started working. How was that particular phase of yours? So you found it like difficult or it was quite okay? How was it?
Yeah, I understand. Okay, here I'll tell you what course I took up in Canada. I did a post-graduation diploma. So there, 1 year, 2 year course after your graduation is called a post-graduation diploma. You also have certified courses there, which is like 6 months to 1 year. But to get a student permit, you have to be a full-time student.
Okay.
And to be a full-time student, you have to take a course which is at least 12 months or at least 24 months. So it's like 1 year or 2 years. So anything that you do in a university, I'd studied from a college. Anything that you do from university is masters. That after undergraduation, if you take up a course in a university, that would be masters. So I did my post-graduation diploma in healthcare professionals.
Okay.
So that was what I did, and I had no internship when I was doing it. The only thing is, once you finish your course, you're directly into the field. You find some job that where you can practice what you studied. But I think I was a bit unlucky too. I am a COVID victim. So when the entire world was struggling, of course, I was in a different land, struggling, fighting my own battle. So I think that just paced me down, slowed me down, and at the time of COVID, everything was shut down, and my city was smaller too, and the minimum jobs that I did, even that I had to pause them, I had to stop them. So that led to a lot of struggle financially. But that's a time when I was very amazed by how people can be, there is a lot of hope for us, because I think, people have each other's back, people care for each other, is something I really understood there. You really start appreciating it because, first of all, you are a foreigner in that country.
Yeah.
And you speak different, you have a different accent, you look different, but how they can embrace you, they can just accept you the way you
Right.
are, and they are ready to help you. So I was in a state where I was not able to pay my rent, I was not able to pay my bills. Even food was a big crisis at that time. And I still I know I want to say this on this platform, that I'm very grateful to everybody who helped me at that time. Indians, Canadians, everybody. Like, there were people who got food for me. They got grocery for me. My landlord, she just said, okay, I understand you're not earning at the moment, so you don't have to pay your rent. You can start paying once, you are on your foot when you get your
So
job.
nice, no?
I was so amazed, ma'am. I'm so grateful to all of them. And even, there was one of my friend who lived next door. She's a Canadian. And she knows I like coffee. And whenever she used to get a coffee for herself, she used to buy me one and keep it outside my door. They followed that 6 feet distance and stuff. Everything was, they never went out of law. They always followed whatever the rules was. But still, they didn't forget to be kind.
That's so nice.
That
That's
was
so
a
nice.
learning for me, ma'am. I think that's the time I started falling in love with the country. For me, my plan was finish your education, do that 1 year post-graduation work permit, at least, try earning something that you have spent on your education, come back to India. This was my plan. But then I really fell in love with the country. The way they treat you and, the way they take care of you was really amazing. And even they had something called RFDA. RFDA is free food. So people who struggled at that time, they cannot buy their groceries. We were assigned free food. Like, you just write your name and address and give it to the company. They will phone you and they'll let you know when the grocery is ready. So all that, I really appreciate. I never went hungry because I had so much support. And even my bills, the phone bill, all these bills, they don't stop. COVID is not going to affect that. You get your bills every month, and I was not able to pay them. But there were Canadian families who understood that, I was struggling, and they helped me pay my bills with their credit card. And I still haven't paid them back. So when I say that I'm ready to pay you now, they're like, no, that's okay. That's bygone. You just pass it on. That's what they say. You don't pay me what I gave you, just pass it on.
Fantastic.
That's amazing,
people.
That's really amazing. I want to tell you one more incident, ma'am. When I was a new immigrant, it was just a week old in the country. And my body was still not adapted to that kind of temperature, minus 46 and minus 50. I remember, and you're in a new country. You are still not very aware of the roads. You're still trying to use the Google map and all that stuff. I think I was standing in the wrong bus stop, and I wasn't able to board into any bus, and I was freezing. I thought I'll die because it's so cold. It looks very good on Karan Johar movies, but when you're actually on that platform, it takes a test of you. And I thought I'm gonna die. It was so freezing. My hands I feel like my fingers were swelling up. My nose would just knock off. It was so cold. Some random car came and stopped by, and there was this senior citizen driving that car. And she just opened the door for me, and she's like, hey kid, where do you want to go? I just showed her the address because it wasn't memorized for me yet. I just showed the address, and she looked at it. She's like, you can hop in. Mom, I didn't even think for the second time. I hopped in that car. She drove by a coffee shop. She bought me warm hot chocolate just to warm me up. And then she drove me to my address. She dropped me there, and she said, take care of yourself. Don't get lost next time, she said. And I was like, do I pay her? How much do I pay her? I said, ma'am, what can I do in return? She's like, you don't do me anything. You just pass it on. I never understood what she meant because that was a new term for me,
Correct.
I never understood that. And then she just said with a big smile, she said bye, and she drove away. I ran to my house, I took a hot shower, and then I started processing. Some random lady, understanding that, you were in trouble, she had the heart to help you, and she dropped you on your address, safe and sound. She didn't charge anything for that. She only expects you to pass that help further. I've never seen that, anywhere else, ma'am. That was my first time experience. And that happened in a broader scale at the time of COVID. So many people I'm grateful to. They helped me with so many stuff that I was struggling back then. Money, even my restaurant owner who I was working for, she's helped me so much with food and stuff. That was a second home for me. Her house was like a second home for me. She knew I was struggling, so every time she prepares something, she would bring a portion for me. She would buy some groceries for me. She knew that the RFDA sometimes don't provide meat, so she'll get some chicken for me.
Oh,
So yeah, that COVID time was very difficult for me, ma'am. Even immigration wasn't happening very smooth, though they had a lot of how do you say? They eased immigration a lot. They were helping all everybody who were on work permit, who could not work. They gave a work permit extension. The students who could not go to college, who had to drop down, they gave them time to settle up. But a lot of immigration rules also changed, but I was not falling in that criteria. Whatever they were looking for, I didn't have that at that time. Like I told you, I had to work on my world education system, that West thing I hadn't done. So there were many flaws on my side. That's the reason I could not avail all the facilities that government gave at that time.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And now I think it's okay, because those 2 years were learning for me too, for me to decide what to do and what all I need and what all I need to educate myself about. It was an eye opener. It was a self realization. So now when I look back, I can think more sensibly. Though at that time I was struggling, but now when I look back, I think it's all good. It was all a learning curve, so it's
Right,
fine.
right, I agree. Right. That's how you grow.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you just learn from your own mistakes.
Yeah,
Yeah. And not just mistakes, all these goodness that has come by. So that made me fall in love with the place.
yeah. And we feel proud about ourselves, right? So because we have come across all these situations, and
Yes,
then when we look back,
that's true. At
yeah,
least I have some stories to narrate over chai. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, yes, ma'am. Those were my days.
Yeah, I think we have pretty much covered about the student life, right? Like after that, like just would like to hear your like work life, like how you started working, what was your first job, how was the experience, how that environment was, right?
Yes, yes. So, like I told you, ma'am, after I finished my student life, which was just 1 year of academics. So back then, I used to like I was allowed for a 1 year postgraduate work permit. So whatever jobs I did as a student, I was working at a restaurant. The first job that I did, I mean, didn't go very well. Okay, so back then when I was struggling, I thought I'm being a victim and I'm not treated good, and I just thought maybe it's my language or the way I look, all is adding up. That was back then what I thought. But today when I look back, I'm able to see from the other side also. I started working in a restaurant. It was a fast food restaurant, and I have no job experience working in a restaurant from India. That was my first job there, and I also think maybe there was a language barrier as well for us Indians. English is not our language,
Right.
right? We just learn English to keep things professional, official,
Yeah, yeah.
to communicate to the rest of the world. So we just learn English to be updated. Though in India, English is not just a language, it's
Yeah.
a status symbol. But there it's treated as a language. And I think I was not very good at it. And there were many things, many terms which were very new to me. So when I was working at this restaurant also, there were many things I was listening for the first time. Those terms were not familiar to me. So I was finding it very difficult to get adjusted to that work ambience. So now I think maybe that was the reason I was not treated good.
Okay.
But yes, back then I was feeling very sad about that. But it's okay. I've overgrown it. And eventually I also got other jobs which were again basic jobs. But luckily, I took my experience from that first job, and I learned a lot of things there. And I decided to practically use them when I started doing different jobs, and I was doing good later on. And even I was treated well. Like I told you, my employer, she was very sweet, and she used to get groceries for me when I was struggling at the time of COVID. So that's the kind of bond I was able to make with her. And she helped me a lot even when I was applying for my permanent residency. She helped me a lot as an employer. So yeah, that was the beginning experience was not very great. I think it's a little bit on me too. I wasn't, ready for that kind of work ambience. So yeah, when I started living in Canada on my postgraduate work permit, whatever jobs I did as a student, I was allowed to do only 20 hours. Those jobs I took full time. So there were like two jobs I did. One became my full-time job, that was 46 hours. And the other job was my part-time job, which I took like 20 hours.
Okay.
And that I did for 1 year. And that's the time when COVID hit and I got stuck there. And I decided to stay there and, try my paperworks to continue living there. And government had helped people a lot because they understood, there were many people who were on work permit and there were many of them who were in student permit who had to put a pause to everything. So the new public policy had come which helped people on work permit to extend their work permits. So I got an extension too. I got an 18-month extension too, which was very helpful because I was able to clear off my debts that I had at the time of COVID. And that's the time I got a job which started complementing my education that I took from the college there in Canada. So it was something related to social service and it was related to healthcare. Though I was not the direct provider, but at least I was, in the back scenes of it. And I started working for this organization that was government funded.
Okay.
And that is job satisfying because that brought me a lot of joy. And, I was able to help so many people. Even at that time, I was also trained for using these, Gen X machines and COVID machines. So that knowledge of mine was also very helpful. I was able to help people who I was working for. I was taken to different communities that my organization serves. I went to those communities and I was able to interact with the community members. That was a very different experience. And I really loved my job because, smiles is what you take back home as earnings. They are so, first of all, they are humble people. They are very grateful to you if, you happen to be of a help to them.
Yeah.
So I think it gave me a lot of joy working with the community. And I look back, I look forward to go back and continue doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a transition from a basic job to something that you like doing. So it takes time to land up to that, but all your hard work is worth it.
Right. Yeah. That is how life goes.
Yes, yes.
So initially we have to put a lot of effort, struggle will be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And all these stages that I walked through, it helps in your personal development also.
Yeah.
Especially like I told you, language is a bigger barrier that we have. We might speak bookish English, but when you go there, English is the only language. So you need to master in that at least have a higher up skill while speaking the language so that you don't have those communication barriers. And I think I had those. So just because I had so much work experience, I worked in customer care and I was able to communicate. A lot of those experiences helped me do the job that I'm doing right now. And even when you are falling back, they definitely help you. They help you with, even if you try looking for words or grouping for words, they understand what you're trying to relate to them. But still, you have to work on yourself. You need to do that homework to stand up to them.
Right.
Yeah, they never pick you on your language, but it's just your duty to be a good communicator. That's what I feel. But all these jobs help me do that. So you meet so many different people, different walks of life. They have different accents. All those experiences help you build yourself personally. So when I look back, I regret nothing. It all adds up to my knowledge and it all adds up to who I am right now. So all that has helped me.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we are covering your like work life, work environment, and the different jobs which you have done, right? So, have you ever felt there is a different kind of a treatment for the workers who are from outside?
Outside. Okay.
And there might be some localites also in the work environment, right?
Absolutely. Yes, yes.
So, or like, how was your work environment? What is your opinion on that? Like, how you felt?
Okay, so to touch on that topic, I'll tell you, ma'am. When I was working here, like I told you, my experience working here with, you know, that particular uh, place that I was working for didn't give me a very good experience and exposure. It didn't give me any respect either.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one time I remember this patient who had come, and he was from Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
and he was in that Arabic attire, and he was surprised to see the way I was treated. And I still remember him coming close to me and saying, "Come to Dubai. Dubai needs doctors." So that's the kind of treatment I was getting here. You know, I wasn't treated very well. So when the same, on the contrary, when I started working there, the work atmosphere is totally different,
Okay.
because, you know, like I told you, they respect your presence, they respect the time that you give to the organization, and they always acknowledge, appreciate, which was a different experience to me, and I really appreciated that. I really liked it. And definitely you have people from all walks of life. You have people from, here I'm talking about different nationalities. Like when I was in I was working in India, we have employees who speak different languages,
Right.
okay, but all of us are Indians. But when I started working abroad, you get to work with different nationalities. So I think they have overgrown. They are very broad-minded, and I never had an experience where I was picked on, or I was, you know, set aside just because I don't speak like them or look like them. They always acknowledge what you do. They always give the credit of work that you do. They appreciate the hard work. I am not. You know, making a comparison and trying to put one down or put the other high. The take home that I got from India was work hard, be genuine, be sincere, be on time. You know, these couple of things, you know, you try inculcating in you
Correct.
as a employee, right? So when I was working here also, the only goal that I had was, there's no shortcut. You have to be a hard worker. You have to have targets which you need to hit on the right time. So those things were already there inside you, right? That's what our country teaches us. So when you go to a different country and when you use these skills of yours, they definitely appreciate the way, you know, you present yourself in the workplace. So I particularly had no differences as such. I mean, there's nothing that I have to pick and say. There is good and bad experience everywhere you go, but
Correct.
there's nothing that I can pick from the back of my head and say it as an experience, because I think I was always welcomed. You know, I was always appreciated for what I did, and they look upon us. They really think that Indians are hard workers, and they really like that. They appreciate that, and I think that we get from where we are. You know, the country that you're born in. So it's a big responsibility you're shouldering, because, you know, you are a representative of your country.
Correct.
So whatever you behave in a different country, that country is judged upon your
True.
behavior, right?
True.
So there's a big responsibility that you're having on your shoulders too. So as far as that, you have that in your mind, you try your best to stick to the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good to know. Well, you stayed there for like couple of years, and so you were working, and you might have some friends also. You might have some people from the Indian community. How was that experience?
Okay, for me, I think everything you have there, you have to earn it for yourself. Nothing comes for free. You, even if it's a friendship, you have to earn, you have to be trustworthy. You know, trust is something, is something big there. And to win that, you really have to be working for it. So initially, when I was there, friends were what I had from my college. So they were the only friends I had, and then I had a couple of Canadian families too. Like I told, you know, my landlord was my first family that I got to know. They were senior citizens, very nice couple, very loving, and they accepted me. And I used to call them uncle auntie. So like, you know, here uncle auntie we salute to everybody, but their uncle auntie is for family. And they allowed me to call them uncle and auntie, so which was a big acceptance for me.
Right, yeah.
So I think they were the first couple that I met, and then eventually from there, I also, from my workplace, I started meeting more people, and my friendship circle became bigger. And I think all of them who became friends back then, I still have them alongside, because I understood one thing: when you go abroad, wherever you are, to find a good person is very difficult.
Okay.
And I think you should not give up on that person over anything. If you've earned a good person in your life, I think that cannot be replaced with anything. You know, so whatever friendships I made, I had back then, they are still there with me. They still keep in touch. Even right now, I'm here, my friends are there. They make sure to give me a call, at least a message, to check up on me and ask me when you're coming back home. I mean, Canada has become a home for me. So they do ask me that, when are you coming back home? So those questions, you know, you feel really blessed to have them around. Yeah. And I think because I have those people there, I again get attracted, you know, to go back as soon as possible back to them. I have my family here, my parents, my brother, but I'm not the lucky one, you know, who has family and mother country, job, everything in one place. You have that, what do you say, karma bhumi and janma bhumi, two different places. So I am one of them, but I have no regrets, or I don't feel sorry about that. You know, it's nice to have family wherever you go, but it's definitely that country has accepted you. So I just landed to that country, and they accepted me the way I am without demanding any changes out of me. So I think I'm comfortable, and I'm okay. I'm okay shuttling between both my home places. Yeah. So I never had that. I was never set aside or never picked on just because I'm from a foreign land or a different looking person. They always accepted me at my workplace, and I have nothing bad to share. It's all good. Yes.
Yeah.
At least not like what I had experience here. It was nothing like that. Yeah. Here I still have bad experiences, but I'll just pass them, because, you know, I think they're again learning curves. You learn to deal with it. You learn how to give a blind turn to it and move on. So I just take it as a learning curve now. Back when I was younger, the younger version of me was very mad at the people who treated you bad. But right now, I just take it as a learning curve. So no complaints.
Okay, good to know. And how about the cost of living over there? If somebody is like planning to go there, so they are like planning to go and get the job, or like to study,
That's a
right?
good
So
question.
how much they can save? That end of the day, that matters, right? So
It depends upon what you earn and how much you earn, because cost of living definitely is higher there compared to India. Uh, but the jobs that you do always, you know, keep you financially funded. If you have a job, or if you have two jobs, it's even nicer, because you have a paycheck coming every bi-weekly. So because you have a paycheck coming every bi-weekly, you are funded. You are able to help yourself. So at least your living, your rent, your food, your travel, that can be covered. But Indians have a skill also to save a little bit and send it back home. So cost of living, I would say it's high, but I think we can adapt to it. It's not very difficult as far as you have a job going alongside. There's something supporting you financially. I think you can, you can surpass that. That won't bother you much, though it's high living costs. Yeah. Yeah. So if
so
somebody
they
is
can save
planning,
something.
oh yeah, absolutely. So people who are planning to go to Canada, worried about the cost of living, I would just say take it as it comes your way, because once you get a job, you land up on a job, then might not bother you much. You will cover up everything. Yeah.
Is job switch difficult there, or like you can do it easily, or like you can do it with less effort?
Oh,
How is it?
jobs which you mean as in like finding a different job,
Yeah, yeah.
quitting the one. Oh, okay. For me, like I told you before, people are there who do one or two jobs. So, but yeah, all goes on the platform of trust. So, if you are planning to quit a job and find a different job, maybe the employer expects you to inform them a month ahead or something, give them a heads up that you're quitting. And once you put your papers, some places they will allow you like to quit in 2 weeks. Some people expect 1 month, depending upon the
Got you.
character of the job, how responsible the job is and how irreplaceable your position is. It just depends upon that. But if you find something better, I think people there are very supportive and they'll be happy for you. They'll congratulate you on your new job.
Got you.
Yeah, they'll never be like cribby, or once you quit them, they won't see you as enemies. Instead, if you find something better than what you're doing right now, they'll be very happy for you.
Got
I
you.
mean, for me, I've never quit a job. There was just one job that I quit because I could not put it in my schedule. I was not finding the time. So that's the reason I had to stop going. Otherwise, until now, I think COVID was another reason what took one of my jobs, because I was a fresher and I understand, they had to prioritize staff who were senior to me, like more experienced than me is what I mean. So they had to filter and, let the freshers go. So I had to leave that job. Otherwise, I've never quit a job. But answering your question, I think it's okay. I mean, you just have to give them a heads up, maybe a month or a week ahead, and I think that's
And
enough.
people are able to get another job.
Uh, Again, depends on what job you're looking for. Is it the job that you're looking that complements your qualification? So it just depends upon the character of the job that you're
Got
looking
you.
for. That decides how easy you can fetch it. Yeah, and their requirement in the organization, if they are really looking for a staff to fill up that position, all that decides the speed in which you will land up to a job. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
As people are like able to save something, few might plan to buy some property or home or something, right? So how that process works? So is it easy to buy home or there or any property over there? So what would be the procedure?
So that's something even I have to discover. I'll not lie. Without a word of lie, I'll tell you. That's something even I'm trying to discover at the moment, because I was not in a position to buy a property for myself until now. But I can tell you, I can share the knowledge that I have. Buying a property, like if you want to buy a car, you want to buy a property, you want to buy a house, everything depends upon your credit card score.
Okay.
So how well you use your credit card and how well you pay that back. So they have a credit score, what they say. So if your credit score is really good, bank will support you.
Okay.
And even like especially when you're buying a property, a house or something, I think even your employer would be able to support you. So you just need to provide a letter which says that you've been working with this organization more than 6 months. It's a full-time permanent job. So the bank just needs an assurance that you are capable of paying the mortgage. So you won't be a liability, which I think on their part is fair enough. So they're just doing a background check and everything is explained by how you use your credit card. So I was blessed enough to buy a car for myself, and that's a max I have bought. So I've not yet not yet thought of buying a property yet. But when I was buying a car, I had to provide my credit score. So if it's good, they'll provide you a loan. The bank will provide you a loan.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to know. Yeah. So I wish you more success in life, and I wish you buy house very soon
Thank
and
you.
invite us as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. For sure.
Yeah. Well, like I just would like to know more about the profession or the segment which fetch more income, or if somebody is planning to go there and work, right? So which segment or the sector they can focus on, or the profession they can focus on to earn more money. End of the day, money matters.
Yes,
right?
yes, I understand. I understand. Right now, I think according to immigration process, if we see, Canada is looking for more skilled workers, as in doctors, IT professionals, speech and language therapists, physiotherapy. So all this comes under medical, paramedical, and then you have IT, then you have social service. So they are exclusively looking for skilled professionals. So I am not at that level of knowledge where I can tell you how much money we can make with these jobs, but I can tell you that every province in Canada has a basic pay, like minimum wage is what you call. So I live in Ontario. So in Ontario, it is $17.50 if my knowledge is right. When I was a newcomer in the country, it was $14. And people who've come before me, they also say there were times when they used to earn $8 per hour. So from there, I think now it has come up to $17. So one thing you can be sure about, that if you're working for an hour, you are rewarded that money.
Okay.
So and then depends upon the kind of job that you do. So I think it's more like, you know, medical professionals, paramedical professionals, IT professionals. They might be on a higher scale. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. And how is this difference? You know, so if somebody is just working there on like a work permit, or like a student, they are working on like internship, and the PR, the people who are holding the PR. So there might be some difference, right? So in terms of pay scale as well.
Absolutely.
So could you please touch upon that?
That's a good reminder. I mean, I should have answered that before your question. Actually, ma'am, when we are on student permit and work permit, we have restrictions. Like there are certain jobs that we cannot apply for. So that is only exclusive for either a PR holder or a citizen. So like if, for example, police service, a student or a work permit holder cannot apply for police services. You have to be a permanent resident, you have to be a citizen. Similarly, military services, any higher government jobs, all these you definitely need to be a PR holder or a citizen. So that's a good question. I should have answered that before your question, actually.
So PR holders have like more value.
They have higher privileges compared to temporary residents. Like students and workers are temporary residents. So why we are not given bigger responsibilities? Because we have to leave the country once our visa is up. So the country cannot depend upon us to do a more responsible job. That's my understanding. So which I think is fair enough also. But when you are a PR holder or a citizen, then you live in the country for longer terms. So the country is confident to give you much more responsible jobs is what I feel.
As we are like discussing on this one, so would love to hear about the PR process as well, because like many might come across that stage, right? So they might struggle and they might not know what exactly the procedure, how they can get it done. So maybe like if you can give little more information on that, that would be really helpful.
Absolutely, ma'am. Like I don't know where to begin from, but then for me also it's a learning curve at the moment, because like I told you, I just wanted to finish my education and come back to India. But then just because I like the place, I want to continue living there. So my research on PR also started a bit late. Like I didn't know what exactly I should be having to be an eligible candidate. First of all, I want to break a myth. We Indians, we feel that if you go, let's talk about Canada. If somebody goes to Canada, lives there for 3 years, once you live there for 3 years, they grant you PR. Many of us think like that. And that's the biggest myth which I want to break right now. That's not how it works. To be eligible for permanent residency, the country looks for certain qualities in the applicant. Like that might be our education from India, from Canada, work experience from India, from Canada, age factor. Like if you are above the age of 35, every year 5 points get reduced from your PR profile, which is less spoken about, but that is also one of the criterias. I think right now the immigration has taken that off because it was not following a genuine path. It was becoming a different business. But LMIA is also something which adds points to your profile. So there are like around 10 to 15 criteria that an applicant has to fulfill. Only then will the candidate be eligible for permanent residency. Plus, if the applicant is a doctor, if the applicant is an IT professional, and if the country is looking for doctors and IT professionals, you will be having a higher edge.
Got you.
And yeah, you have to meet all those criteria. Only then will you be given the invitation to apply. The Immigration Refugee Canada, they send you an invitation if they feel that you are an eligible candidate, and then you have to prove that you have all these criteria to be a PR holder. Yeah. So if you type on Google, say CEC score is what they call. So once you start calculating your score, you yourself can judge how eligible you are.
okay.
So sometimes when we apply from India, some people, some candidates, they want to land, they want to do soft landing in Canada. Soft landing means you reach Canada with the PR in your hand. So you don't have to apply anything from there.
Got you.
So if you're doing that, many of our applicants from India, they are scammed. Okay, so I feel that it's just lack of knowledge. I mean, most of our agents from India, they are called as ghost agents because they just guide you wrongly. They don't give you a transparent picture of how the system really works, and sometimes they just get scammed. They pay a lot of money, but they don't get the results. So I would be using this platform to tell them beware. Don't go to such scammers, because there's no point lying.
Yeah.
Canada is a very transparent country. Everything is in black and white. So if you make any fake papers, if you try misrepresenting, you will be caught.
Correct. Yeah.
So there's no point lying. Just be genuine. So I would just suggest them to approach an agency that is genuine, and just look at the history and do a little bit of homework before giving all your money to them. And right now immigration has become a little strict because of too many immigrants landing into Canada, and that I think there are a couple of reasons why immigration has become a little more tighter, and they're looking for specific professionals there who can boost up the economy and be integral part, helpful for the country. So be very watchful is what I would say. Even if you're applying for student permit, there are a lot of changes right now. Back then, you apply for a student permit, you were given a postgraduate work permit, you were allowed to work. But right now it's not like that. So any undergraduate or any, what do you call, diploma courses, some of them have been removed from this program, and more master's degree and master's education has become part of the program where you can apply for a PGWP. So it's not like back then it was given to you. Right now you have to earn it. So you have to write exams. We didn't have to write IELTS 7 years back for PGWP. Right now I think they are asking for a language test.
Okay.
And this language test, IELTS or CELPIP, it expires every 2 years.
Okay.
So many of them are not aware of that as well. So it expires every 2 years. That is mandatory. You have to write an exam now for PGWP as well. So if you're only a master's degree holder, will you be able to apply for PGWP? Even if you are getting your spouse with you. Back then, you could just apply for your spouse and he could come or she could come. But now they have restrictions on that as well. Only if you're doing masters can you invite your husband or wife, depending upon what masters you're doing, depending upon what IELTS score you have, what your spouse is doing, is he a valuable addition to the country? All these has come into play. So right now, whosoever is applying from India, I would suggest do a good research, go to the IRCC website, read everything for yourself, understand everything for yourself, only then apply. Because there's a lot, even in Canada, I mean, I've been a victim.
Yeah.
Until I found the right guy,
Okay.
I was never helped in the right way.
Okay.
Depending upon your situations, people just try
Correct.
minting money out of you,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. And I have had that experience too. And unlucky more because all of them are Indians.
Oh.
Yeah. Most of my, because like I told you, language would not be a barrier if the representative is from India for me. So I looked for Indian representatives, but unlucky I was, and therefore I too was, scammed in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So until I found the right person who stood by me, guided me, I again had to earn him.
Okay, gotcha.
So anybody who's applying, be watchful is what I would say. Yeah.
This is a very good information.
Yes,
This will be
yes.
useful.
Yeah. And the 3-year thing is definitely not working.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have to hit all the zones
Yeah, got
to
your
be
point.
eligible.
Yeah.
Yes.
After getting a PR, like, is it easy to start a business, or if they want to practice, if they are professionals, right? So if they want to start their own practice, like, how exactly that works? Like, do you have any idea on that?
I am still yet to explore that. I'm not, very knowledgeable on that topic, but I just understand it makes life much more easier because it opens more doors for you. Like I told you, when we are on a temporary permit, we have restrictions for jobs. Like there are certain jobs that you cannot apply. But once you're a PR holder, you can apply for more jobs which were restricted, when you are temporary. So at least with that, you understand that it opens more doors for you, more possibilities for you. So I am thinking that once you are a PR holder, definitely we can start a business depending upon, follow the rules and regulations of the country. And maybe you can do that. And for me, to start practicing as a dentist, I think I'll have to go through some exams. I have to take up a license there. Right now, I'm not allowed to practice. I'm not even allowed to write Dr. Soumya. So I have to earn that again. So once I go there, if like once I get my PR and I go back home, maybe I'll try working on it. So I have to write my exams. I have to attend colleges if required. I have to refresh everything from second year, third year, final year. They call it DDS. So once I do that, I think I can start practicing. So yeah, it was a long wait, but worth
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, good to know. Good to know this information as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. If anybody like trying to apply for job, or if they are planning to come to Canada, so would you able to help them maybe like on social media, like any other
Absolutely.
platform?
Oh,
So if they
yes.
need like a more information, I think that would be helpful if like if you get some time maybe. Yeah.
Absolutely, ma'am, because I don't want others to do the same mistakes that I did, or I don't even want them to be scammed because it's huge money that we
Correct,
invest,
correct. Yeah.
So definitely, I am ready to help. I am any queries, I'm ready to help. Whatever I have,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
knowledge, I'm ready to share that knowledge. And if anybody is trying independently or trying via agencies, let that be education agency or some other agency for permanent residency, I would say look up on Facebook for these groups that I was talking about. So they have these groups of like Indian community who share informations and share ideas. I would also suggest to look up for those groups, and whatever queries you have, just put a message in that group. Definitely somebody will answer. So don't be like, don't blindfold yourself and just religiously follow what the agency says, because it's not their fault, ma'am. I'm not putting finger of blame on them, because they are just trained to talk a certain way.
Yeah.
They're just trying to convince you. So they are not the people who've traveled to Canada, seen the situation, and they're not giving you first-hand information. They know what they've been told to say. So I'm not blaming them, but do your homework to be on the safer side. So I'm ready to help personally too. But if they look up on Facebook, they also have these groups that can help them. So any queries they have, they definitely can ask them. And if they are looking for student visa, there are the possibilities. You can call up the college. You can ask the college directly what courses are good for future, as in if you want to permanently stay there, how helpful you can be to the country. Even the college will help you, guide you. Depending upon that guidance also, you can take admissions. Even for permanent residency, there are agents from Canada who help. Now, the best part is a Canadian agent knows how rules work here.
Yeah.
An Indian agent who's in India is just guessing what is
Correct.
happening. Sometimes, it's just guesswork. So there is a difference of first-hand information and second-hand
Correct.
information.
Yeah.
So it's not nobody's fault, but this is how it is.
Yeah.
So even the applicant, the aspiring immigrant, can ask or approach these agencies too. If you just Google, there are so many agencies that you can find in Toronto and Vancouver. There's so many people who can help you, but again, be mindful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got you.
Yeah.
And by any chance, were you missing anything from India, so which you are getting here?
Ma'am,
And
I
after
miss
staying there,
I miss everything about India because India is where we are born and brought
right?
up. And to be honest, ma'am, when I came, I lived 7 years straight in Canada. I never got a chance to come back home. I never got a chance to visit my family until now. It was only now I could come back home. And I'm amused by how India has changed. While
Yeah,
speaking about Bangalore, it has changed so much. Holy, I mean, the places which were barren had a lot of trees, now has buildings, has got so many organizations everywhere. It's so crowded.
yeah,
The Google Pay, use of Google Pay, tap payments, I think India is developing. I'm really
yeah.
proud.
Technologically as well.
Absolutely, ma'am. I was amused. There are many things I still don't have on me. Like, I don't have Google Pay.
Okay.
In India, I'm technologically backward.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, India is like doing really, really good. I
Yeah.
am very proud to see how developments have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Bangalore, I mean, that's the max I have gone. Bangalore, I've studied here and I've lived here so long. I don't feel like an alien here anymore. But when I came after 7 years, I was literally feeling like an alien.
Okay.
Only thing I know is now a little bit of language. That's it. Otherwise, Bangalore also has changed a
Yeah.
lot. I
When the
mean,
standard of living in
absolutely, ma'am. I mean, people have become more technologically savvy, internet savvy, which is a nice thing. I mean, we are
right, right.
developing. It's really great. So I think I have to walk with their pace now. I'm way backward. I still do cash payment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, I mean, it's a good experience.
Yeah.
You know, you learn a lot from your country before you move to a different country, and all the good things that you have learned, you can practice there too,
Right.
and they respect you for that. You
Yeah.
learn new good things from them.
Yeah.
You know, stay grounded, stay humble, and all that. Life also takes so much tests that you automatically become grounded. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good experience. You know, you just being a nicer version of you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like always happy to see the positive changes, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Positive
Yeah.
changes makes you feel that everything was worth it.
Right. Right.
Whatever you've gone through,
Yeah.
no regrets.
Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we are almost at the end of this episode, So, would you like to give any tips or suggestions uh, for the young minds who are like planning to go abroad or like planning to go Canada?
I would say definitely make a move.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely try going abroad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that just broadens your spectrum of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes a different person out of you. So, if ever you get a chance to do higher studies or you get a chance to work, you want to apply for permanent residency, definitely try for it. And once you reach the country,
Mm-hmm.
do not forget that you are holding a big responsibility on your shoulders,
Yeah.
because you are representing the country that you were born and brought up in,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So, be a valuable addition wherever you go.
got you.
Make them appreciate you. No, that is what you should be looking forward to.
Very good
Yeah.
suggestion. Very good suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine, and thank you so much. Thank you for coming here and giving a lot of time for us. And whatever we have discussed, that would be very helpful for the viewers. Thanks a lot.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much.
ma'am, for having me on the show. Thank you so much for giving me this platform to speak so much. All these I used to speak to the walls, but finally, yeah, if that can help somebody, I'm really happy.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll meet again.
We'll meet again. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
This is a small token of gratitude.
You didn't have to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming here.
Oh, thank you so
And,
much, ma'am.
Yeah, I wish you more success in career and life.
Thank you
Thanks
so
a
much.
lot.
Anyway, I'll be keeping you updated so you would know. Thank you so much.
Hi all, we had a nice discussion with Soumya and she was able to cover many immigration related concepts. If you have any specific question or query, please put them in the comment box below. And if you need any suggestion directly from Soumya, you can reach out to her. Thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you all.